Good morning and welcome everyone to Literary Souls, where we discuss things Tolkien, C.S. Lewis, and much, much more. I have Ark here, wrong direction. Hello, Ark. Hello, chat. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing this fine, fabulous, fantastical morning? Using big
Hey,
words.
Mando. What's going on, chat? How's everybody doing?
Ah, it's going good. We've got some people in the chat. Also, I need to learn how to relearn how to highlight people. Hello, Boba. Yes, this would be super interesting to listen to. Agreed. Thad. Yes, and I asked you to elaborate what you have. And Ledart. Am I saying that right?
Late art. Hi, late
Late
art.
art. Hello. Okay, so they did elaborate. Do you remember I mentioned Tolkien's gimmick where Elfwine the mariner in the 6th century found the straight road to the Undying Lands, landed on Tol Eresi and learned the lore? Yes, I do remember that. Yes, okay. So basically, someone from our world traveled or somehow traveled into the Undying Lands. That's what this essay is about. Cool. That makes
Hmm.
so much more sense.
That makes it so much more clear.
The Cottage of Lost Plays, where he spent time being told the tales. Oh yeah, and then Tolkien mentioned, I forget where he mentioned it, but that somehow the guy came back to Earth proper and relayed these tales to someone who then relayed them to Tolkien. I gotcha. I remember now. Coffee does wonders. Good morning, Roman. How are you doing today? How are you guys doing today? We've got some news and other things like the wonderful trailer that we were just given.
It's so beautiful.
It's gorgeous. The critics are just raving about it. And the fans have downvoted it to oblivion. Yes. It's amazing, glorious. If I
It's
do,
completely changed my opinion on the Rings of Power. It's going to be an amazing, I'm saying it now, an amazing production.
it's amazing. It's gonna be the best. It's gonna be the best rings of ever. It's gonna be the most powerful rings. Just glorious rings.
It's going to be horrible. Why are you making me watch this again?
Because I need content for my YouTube channel, and this is what the people ask for. I just spit all over my
Fair
stuff. I'm
enough.
sorry.
Fair enough. I understand.
Roman making hobbit breakfast. Yes, make that hobbit breakfast. I like the background, so warm and cozy. Yes, the background is of a mead hall. Yes, I looked at it and I was like, you know what? Mead hall, library, places where people gather, come and listen to tales told by wonderful people.
Wonderful people. Just wonderful.
Because I do remember somewhere, I forget who it was. I think it was a Greek author or poet. I should know this because I'm reading Greek stuff right now. The life is a tale told by an idiot is
Mm-hmm.
basically what the paraphrasing quote is. I forget who said it. Did you see the hints of dragons and Galadriel's War of Wrath flashback? I don't think that they have
Oh
rights to
my
them, so they can't
gosh.
show them fully. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Bet you were
Just
worried and it made you feel better about Amazon takeover. Space Zombie, good morning. Good morning to you.
morning, zombie.
Yes, the trailer made me all warm and fuzzy inside. Like a
Fuzzy's a word
hairball.
for it.
Like a hairball. It's a hairball. Oh gosh. Hi to Roman says Rings of Prime. Flaming pile of poo. What is up, Jacob? How are you doing this fine and dandy morning? Is Ark still hanging in there? I think so.
I am.
Why don't you
I am I'm just getting off of a 13-hour stream on Twitch. So I went throughout the night and um yeah, I am quite tired. I got about 2 hours of sleep, so I'm feeling better. But yeah, it's still we got the caffeine going through us, that's for
heck
sure.
yeah. Mr. Bloop Bloop sent me a video about someone who was not a coffee lover actually tasting good coffee for the first time in their life, and then they converted to espresso. I was like, yes, another one to the team of coffee.
Another
Uh,
one, convert.
yes, that's a Shakespeare quote from Macbeth. Oh, okay, thank you, Thad. I read a lot of things, and sometimes they kind of start crossing hairs and stuff. So yeah, sorry. Notifications go away. The Rings of Prime, more like, or the Rings of Pride, more like, yes, the Rings of Pride. I still prefer
Mhm.
the Rings of Prime because it's on Prime, um, and all of that wonderful goodness. So
Because the ring of diversity just doesn't really roll off the tongue.
I know. Gosh dang it, I was gonna wear my Ring of Power today. I can't find it. I'll have to ask Mr. Bloop Bloop to get it for me. Because I do actually have a Ring of Power. The main Ring of Power.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was at a jewelry store and I wanted it and they didn't have the other ones. Otherwise I would have gotten probably Lady Galadriel's ring because it's very pretty.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But hey, the
I
rings
definitely would have gotten Círdan's. And
yes.
I
Or
call it
Gandalf's.
Círdan's because he gave it to Gandalf. It's still Círdan's.
This is true. This is true. Uh I guess because like I only know like Círdan like this much. Like I don't know a lot about him, so in my mind it's still like I know he gave him the ring, but I have not gone into the deep reaches of Moria to find the Arkenstone of Círdan's mythology.
Here's a quick rundown on Círdan. Um, he was always loved ships. He's always loved the ocean. He stayed in the Grey Havens, and then when Balerion started to sink, he just moved over and made a new Grey Havens, and that's it.
That's all. Okay, then that I do know that. Okay,
It's
I know that
just
much
it's
then.
it's just an elf in his boats.
Okay, I was thinking there was a lot more lore to him than that. Okay. All right. I only remember the quote because we had to do a term paper on Macbeth in high school, and my English teacher was insanely hot. You know, I can't blame you there. What is up, Roto? I can't blame you there. The only reason, like, I had really good English teachers and I and literature teachers in high school that kind of really loved some of the classics, and so I've read Beowulf, Macbeth, some King Arthur, uh what is the Edgar Allan Poe. She really was into Edgar Allan Poe. She went through a phase of it was right after one of my teacher's divorces. She kind of went through a really big Edgar Allan Poe phase. So I read a lot of Edgar Allan Poe. I had nightmares in high school because of Edgar Allan Poe.
I don't blame you. Like listening to that depressing dude.
The Telltale Heart. I could have swore
Thump, thump,
there was
thump,
in
thump.
my wall. I was just like, oh god. Which we might go through that on this channel one of
We
these
very
days.
well could. I'm down for that.
More nightmares. I'm gonna have to
More
get my little plushie.
nightmares.
my little plushie and like sleep with it. Like Mr. Bloop Bloop will move and I'm like, So yeah, that's some of the literature that I've read throughout the years. Why don't we go ahead after talking about wonderful classic literature? Let's go ahead and get through this other great works of
Media.
literary history, media
mm.
history.
I gotta drink water. Take the taste out of my mouth.
Yep. Okay. We're gonna share, and it's every 10 seconds I can play. Correct? For my YouTube peoples.
I think it is because
Okay.
we don't want to get copyright struck, but it should be fine because we are being transformative. I want to state that,
That is
Amazon. We are critiquing a product that you released. So back off. Or I'll get Nick
yes.
Rekieta on you.
Share system audio. There we go. Okay. It wasn't sharing the audio. Smile a while for me. I got it right, Sarah, my friend Sarah from Minnesota. Yes, I say it wrong. I know I say it wrong. She will get on to me later. I'm sorry. Poe's my soulmate. How dare you, Ark? Morning, Sarah. That Círdan is probably the most powerful elf who never went to the Undying Lands. He longed to see Valinor, but Valar gave him a mission to basically build the Grey Havens.
Oh yeah, but I gave the Spark Notes, Thad. I gave the Spark Notes. Give me
Yeah, Spark
credit.
Notes.
Give me credit, Thad. I didn't even paraphrase Círdan's life. I gave the Spark Notes. The highlight.
Later, go get back in your whole Amazon. Yes. Don't play the audio in more than 10 seconds. Well, we have to play the audio because it's a new story.
Thad did say 10 to 15 seconds at a time, so
Right.
that is good to know because I did not know that. I thought you could just play the whole thing and just talk about it.
So you're supposed, like, according to copyright, you are supposed to be able to do that. But Amazon's rules that they have are different than copyright actual rules. And so, I mean, if we really wanted to, we could probably fight Amazon on that. But I'm not big enough for that. And I'm not caffeinated enough for that. So we're just gonna
10 to 15 seconds it is.
10 to 15 seconds. All right. Let me know if you guys can hear it. I'll turn up the audio just a smidge. I got some new headphones, or they're old new, but I'm starting to use them and they have like really good audio and I'm like, I have to turn things down in my head. All right, let's see.
There was a time when the world was so young.
Oh
There had
my.
not yet been a sunrise.
Okay. That is correct.
Yes.
There's a truth. There's a truth in all of the lies.
This is true. And you can see, like, when we go a little bit further into this video, you see the trees. So
how far back are they going?
I mean,
they're not allowed to go too far back.
Right.
But the trees were mentioned in the appendices.
That's where we're getting it. What catches you on YouTube is complex. All AI scans your stuff in real time, and then your usage is forwarded to the copyright holder. I usually have audio off and turn on subtitles. We'll risk it for the biscuit today. I've already been you need to hear the great Shakespearean speech of "But you haven't seen what I have seen, just pure." Elijah, good morning, dear. Good morning,
Elijah.
Good Hobbit morning to you. So yes, the YouTube. So I have to tell you guys something. One of the literary soul sisters, I forget the one we were talking about, Rohan and Gondor. So that intro that I played got copyrighted only on that video. I've done that intro for other literary soul sisters and literary souls things, but it was only on that one it got copyrighted.
Strange.
And it wasn't an audio copyright, it was a video copyright. So I couldn't do anything really about it besides cut out that portion of the video, which is fine. It's the intro, whatever. So yeah. That's a flashback. That is a flashback that can allude to a lot of stuff due to being mentioned after your show. I am going to go live record my reaction and breakdown of this trailer. Ooh.
Sounds interesting. Yeah, like they can allude to a lot of things, but that's what the appendices are.
Yes.
If you are a new, let's look at this through the lens of a new Tolkien reader. Someone who has just recommended it, has never read the books, hasn't watched the movies, was just handed the gigantic textbook and was given, here you go. Read it.
They were handed this thing that I have down here, the 3-volume Lord of the Rings.
Yep, absolutely.
Read it all.
And so you start with the Fellowship and you're going to end with Return of the King. You're going to have the appendices for last. So you are going to look at that as a new reader through a different lens.
Bye, Legend. Tell Johnny we say hi.
And so, where was I going with this?
Sorry.
I had a point. I'm going to find it again. Oh, yeah. There's all these allusions and all of these things that are mentioned about stuff in the past, dealing with the past of Middle Earth. And what this show is going to turn into is just foggy
Mm-hmm.
flashbacks,
Yes.
because that's all
With
they really can do if they're honest
mm-hmm.
with the interpretation of their rights that they own.
Mm-hmm. What's up, Salty? All Tolkien all the time. Heck to the yeah, man.
What's going on, Salty?
Huh?
I said, what's going on, Salty?
Oh, sorry. I was like, what? I could, for some reason, my brain didn't, like, it was just rah, 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 Salty. I was like,
Yeah, sometimes that happens.
but yeah, like, to my understanding, like, there's, it has to be just kind of flashback. Salty. Honest. Amazon honest.
See, and that's the thing. That's the thing. We can hold them to honesty
Mm-hmm.
because of the legal contract that they've signed. But somebody has to actually do that. Somebody in
Right.
the Tolkien estate actually has to do that. And all of Tolkien's children are dead
And his grandchildren don't give two Fs.
because they're getting that Amazon money.
Mm-hmm. But past is dead, Arcs is Ladian. But
That's
yeah.
true.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. So further on. See, and you thought we wouldn't have anything to just talk about.
Oh, come on now.
But even then,
Oh my!
there was light.
There was light. I wonder where they got that quote from. Her? Sorry, I had to do that. That I will elaborate my idea on this on my broadcast, but basically Amazon does not care about this crap show. They are just using it as Amazon to get Amazon Lord of the Rings associated in people's heads. Yeah, because if you can get people who don't know anything about like Tolkien to associate Lord of the Rings with Amazon.
Absolutely. And that goes back to what I said before. You take someone that has never read Tolkien, that doesn't know who J.R.R. Tolkien is, you give them this, this is propaganda. This
It
is
is.
indoctrination. You are
Mhm.
indoctrinating them to not view the original Hobbit and the original Lord of the Rings written by J.R.R. Tolkien as the main thing. They're also indoctrinating you to take away from the great achievement that Peter Jackson did in
Mhm.
adapting it to film, and then you're also just you're implanting it into the subconscious of new fans of Tolkien, and it's going to be an extremely hard fight to say, no, 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 this is not Tolkien. You can have your gripes about Peter Jackson's films as well, but Peter Jackson's films is going to look like it's directly from J.R.R. Tolkien
Yes.
compared to this. And
Yes.
and and so we as fans have to now work even harder to protect Tolkien's Legendarium and unravel this
Mhm.
disgusting knot that Amazon is trying to do to Tolkien.
Yes. What is up, Megan from Noob Reviews? How are you doing this morning? Is this the first time you've been on my channel? Or you've been in my chat? If it is, awesome. If it's not, I'm sorry. I forget things. Thank you so much for coming. Let's
Mando
see.
hasn't had her coffee yet, so
I've had 2 sips of my delicious elixir of life juice. Sorry. 3 sips now. Oh, she's been lurking. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Small plug, just small plug for just 2 seconds. I am 2 people away from 100 subscribers on YouTube. If you guys are new, would you please hit the subscribe button? Thank you. All right, and so they're showing the trees. I'm trying to figure out where this place is. Like, where do you think this is that they're just kind of showing?
I would like
I want
I
to
don't
think.
know. I don't know. I literally I can't. The only thing I could think of was the Seven Rivers area
Mm-hmm.
next to the Blue Mountains. That's the only thing I can think of, and I forget the name. Thad, what is the name of the 7 rivers where I believe it's the green elves live.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember that. Salty says 102. Yes! Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Yay.
Let me see, what does mine say? Mine says 101, so I mean, Salty's correct. It's above 100.
Yay! Thank you guys. I appreciate it. It's awesome. I think that had something to say earlier. No, I already. Okay. Yeah, or I already read that. Gosh. My theory, just based on what they're showing us in this trailer, I think this is Valinor.
No, that can't be Valinor.
It's mentioned in the appendices, isn't it?
Well, I believe Valinor is mentioned, but no, that does not look anything like how Valinor is described. That looks dreary right there. I mean, look at the grass. The grass is not
true.
lush. There are no trees. I mean,
well, where's my mouse? Well, I just like there are trees there. I think it's just kind of shrouded in like a mist, like
So
early morning.
Okay, play the video for like a few
Okay.
frames. We got more to talk about right here. All right, pause. Yeah,
They're traveling.
That
They're traveling
can't be
from
Valinor.
I don't know. They started in like they're I think this is just kind of like frame by frame of Galadriel's travel from Valinor to Middle Earth. That's my theory.
Yes, Bogan. Osirian. I believe that's correct.
Oh, okay. So that's where okay. Cool. I'm a bit distracted for some reason. I just got warned about an emergency weather alert called aerial flood alert.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, Osirland Island of Tol Galen, in the 5th or 6th river. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, it could be that. I'm just from my gathering of this trailer, I feel like this is more of a trailer of Galadriel's travels and kind of Galadriel's flashbacks.
Which is wrong too. That's just wrong. But
yeah.
There's so much wrong, and we're only 25 in. 25
I know,
seconds.
I know, right? That's just kind of where my brain goes, knowing what they're trying to do. What is up, the creative from Blue Collar? God, I can't speak today.
I got this. What's going on, Blue Collar guy? How about that? Just got to shorten it a little bit.
Thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching me stumble through this morning. Gosh, which do you think that's Manway's eagle? Whose name I continue to forget.
I think that's just a cloud and a mountain, Mando. You might want to play the video a little bit more.
Right there, that little guy?
Yeah, play the video a little bit more.
Hold on, let me creative blue collar guy. Hello, can't watch doing yard work, just saying hi. Well, thank you for saying hi, Cajun. We appreciate you. I agree. They're doing this as Galadriel's flashbacks. They're trying to sell her hard as the main character for the show. Yep.
So let's go with this for a second. Let's go with this for a second. If this is all going to be flashbacks, you have to have a present. In order to have, in order to go into the past, you have to have a present. So that means the first episode is probably like the first few minutes of the first episode is probably going to be taking place in the present. And it's going to show Galadriel, and there's going to be like she's talking to someone, and then it's going to be like a record scratch. I'm Galadriel. This is how I got here. And then it goes back in the past.
Well, in the trailer, later on, like it shows her speaking with Elrond.
I cannot stand his voice. That was the first time I heard his voice. Ugh.
Yeah. That's a little too much. I need to rebrand. That's fine. Hey, you spoke English well enough to get my name right. Hey, my friend, Smile a While for me, literally sent me a video, an essay on how I need to say her name. I'm just kidding. She just hammered it into my brain that's right. To say her name correctly, because My DMs are open and people can do that. If I say your name incorrectly, you are more than welcome to DM me and tell me how horrible I am at pronunciating names. Apparently, an aerial flood alert means it's gonna rain so hard that my city is going to flood. It sounds like Eru Iluvatar is about to smote by like he did in Numenor. Hey, I mean,
you just said New Jersey,
yeah.
New Jersey kind of gotta go, bud. Kind of gotta. At
All right.
least it'll wash like all the nastiness off the streets for a little bit.
Yeah. All right, so let's continue on.
Elves have forests to protect.
Elves have forests.
Dwarfs their mines. Men their fields of grain.
The fields of grain. The fields of grain. Oh, there's the moose people that I didn't even notice the first time I watched it. There are the moose people at the back.
I want to know who the moose people are. Now, for me, I think the moose people is just a form of man,
I
and they're
think so
just
too.
hunting like a moose-like animal.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, remember what they did to Wheel of Time? Book sites were left out and scenes moved to wrong cities, places, actions were taken away from male characters given to Rosamund Pike for the message. Yep,
they did.
Damn, I need Elendil to sail by in a ship and save me from the flood of the Rings of Prime. Yes, the moose people are Eskimos of Arda, apparently. I know Elijah laughed at this, and I'm gonna do it again. Every time we see these people, I want this image to be in your head. You're a
That's
pretty
right.
moose. All the boy moose say, wah!
Yes, I loved it when you did it the first time, and I think I'm gonna love it when you do it the second time.
Please, every single time. For those of you watching, when these moose people come up, do that, or somebody mention, "Oh, Princess Bride moose people." Those must be all the boy moose that same way.
It's just.
We gotta have fun with this, guys. Like, come on.
Oh, but it's so depressing.
It is. That's why we have to have fun with it, and I'm going to mock it until my channel is taken down, and then I will mock it even more.
Absolutely, I'm there for it.
Yes.
But we Harfoots have each other.
They have each other. Friendship.
Pause it.
We're safe.
Pause it. Oh, so bad.
No, I want to go back. I want to see her. That. Hold on. No. What is in their hair? What is that? What, like the Harfoots literally have twigs and leaves in their hair, but we have each other.
It looks like you tossed them into a briar patch. What is going on? What is this? This is pain.
It's Bilbo gone wild.
No, you don't need to bring that into this world.
Bilbo gone wild. Oh man.
Oh my gosh, how far the representation has come that it's not even good representation. And that's the whole point, is it's just not good.
All right, let's keep on going with so the elves have their trees, the dwarves have their mines, and the men have their grains and fields.
And all we got is each other.
Oh, it sounds like every anime that talks about friendship is the answer. With friendship, I can do more. With friendship, I can go to the next level.
That's right.
Ooh, why am I Mickey all of a sudden? Ooh.
I noticed the little Mickey Mouse clubhouse there. So that just means that Naruto is from this universe.
Oh God, it has to be.
I still can't get over the twigs in the hair.
I know,
and,
right?
And like the dancing in the woods, and
they're so angelic while they're having parties in the woods. That every time I see the moose people, it reminds me of my grandfather's World War II story during his basic training in California, where he would help American Indians hunt moose with a 50 cal machine gun.
I like that.
Yes. All right, let's continue with the representation. Oh,
safe.
Back it up. Back it up to the beginning of the Hobbits. Back it up to the beginning of the Hobbits.
So to the elves and the dwarves and all that, where they're
Right.
talking.
No, right there. Right there. That'll do.
Okay, and just keep playing.
Yeah.
Dwarfs their minds. Men their fields of grain. But we Harfoots have each other.
Pat, pause it. Do you
What is
hear
that?
that? Do you hear that stupid modern British accent?
Yes.
That is so nails on chalkboard. That is ridiculous. And you noticed how in Peter Jackson's productions of The Lord of the Rings and even The Hobbit, they sounded natural. They sounded normal. They didn't try so hard. This what they're doing is what Kevin Costner did with his Robin Hood English accent.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're putting on an accent to try to add some form of depth to their characters, and it's falling flat on their face.
Give
It's
me just a sec.
it's ridiculous. And why do they have dog whistles?
I
Is
think
oh they're meerkats. They're meerkats,
Yes.
and this is how they're talking to their family members, and they're like, danger, 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 moose people, danger.
basically yes. So just real quick, I got a Streamlabs donation from Salty Texas C for $5. Keep fighting this fight. Respect Doritos C chip or Doritos C hip. Okay. Sorry, I can't read today. Thank you so much, Salty. I appreciate it. That's going to go towards the book fund because the 13 Histories of Middle Earth, once you get past like the 6th one, get a little expensive because they're out of print. But yes, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I don't have clips to play for you. All I can offer is thank you. You are amazing and awesome, and I appreciate it. I should start getting clips, shouldn't I?
Yeah, you do your own thing. Clips are cool. I really like the clips, but a simple thank you that is enough. I think anyway. They're helping
Shield
us.
wall. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
They're helping us fight the good fight, and we're helping them fight the good fight. We're all in this together, and we are more like the Harfoots than the Harfoots in this stupid Amazon production. Let's just say that. And we don't have
Yes.
twigs in our hair either.
I know, right? We actually take showers and stuff and such. Let me turn that down a little bit. What's up, everybody? Stuck in traffic due to an accident in the road. We'll watch this later. Have a good stream. Thank you, Shield Wall. Appreciate you. Stay safe. Salty.
Drive
Hashtag
careful.
Kevin Costner accent classes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Sounds like the accent's from Oliver. Please, sir, I want some more porridge.
Absolutely, it sounds like they tried to go with a British industrial age accent.
A Cockney.
Yes.
If I'm correct with my British accents, there's the high class British accent. Oh my, and then there's the please, sir, I want my porridge. I know it's really bad. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, you aren't British, so
I'm not.
I don't hold it against you.
This is a Naruto reference. Damn it, bastard Sauron! I don't care if you give me one dumb rings. I'm gonna kick your ass, treasure rings, and become Hokage. Data boy.
Date Bayo. Let's do it. That's yeah, that is definitely a Naruto reference.
Mando, you start with the music. What? Oh. Yes. Be safe. Yes, be safe, Shield Wall. But yeah, I agree with you. I think this is a warning. The Harfeet people use Harfoots. Okay. To warn that hey, we've got.
I'm not going to give them
people.
I'm not going to use a Tolkien word. We're going to come up with a word. Harfootsies.
Harfootsies. Hey, Harfootsies. You're gonna have to remind me to use that. All right. So more of the Harfootsies. Them dancing.
We're safe.
So weird. Why are they dancing like that? Like that. Based on the works, my patootie.
Based on the works of John Tolkien. What?
John Ronald Reuel Tolkien.
Well, I'm not going to say his entire name because that's a dadgum mouthful. Why do you think he shortened it to J.R.R.? And J.R.R. was too much for me to say at that time, man.
Jarr.
Thanks for one-upping me. Well, it is your stream, so go right ahead. That's what I'm here for.
Well, if I could actually say something and sound intelligent while saying it, I want to say it because I say stuff all the time where I sound like I'm an idiot with a microphone. I mean, yeah, that's I'm gonna take Gary's line. I'm an idiot with a microphone, and we're just playing some stuff and talking about it.
Absolutely, and it's a ton of fun. But yes, you cannot say that is based on the works because you're not even using the correct work at the time. If you want to talk about the Second Age, get the rights to the Unfinished Tales and to the Silmarillion.
Yep.
Now, yes, you can go ahead and use the appendices, and the appendices were written and they were blessed by Tolkien to be put into, I believe it's the second edition of The Lord of the Rings, because the first edition of The Lord of the Rings did not have any appendices. People wanted to have appendices, so he went through all of his notes and he put them together the way he saw fit. And he went and referenced the entirety of The Lord of the Rings. And then he was like, yes, I need to include this, this, and this because it benefits the main story of The Lord of the Rings. But then we have all of his other writings that become everything else in the Legendarium.
Yes.
And that is where the first and the second age is.
Yes. Hello, governor. Yes, I can do that much at least. Do these hobbits know how to take a bath? That's something from the Lord of the Rings. Hobbits like Lord of the Rings hobbits like bath, but these are not hobbits. These are harfeetsies.
That is true. So they're dumb and they won't know
basically
anything because that's what Amazon wants. Amazon wants things to be dumb.
Salty, literally from IMDb, based on the novel by 3 episodes, 2022. So only 3 episodes is going to be based on the novel? Yeah. Based loosely on the conversation Tolkien had with his gardener.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. One time Tolkien was out looking at a tree, and his poor gardener came by and just said, "How you doing, J.R.R. Tolkien? How you doing, sir?" And then Tolkien just immediately went and told him the premise to what now is the Rings of Power. That's a fact, Jack. That's a fact.
And I mean, Tolkien had so many notes on so many different things.
Scimitar. What's going on,
I said
bro?
it right.
Yes,
that's how I don't say scimitars anymore. I have for the longest time said scimitar. Or skirmitar, sorry. Hello. All right, let's keep going because I don't want the entire stream to just be bashing this.
Oh,
we have something to actually get through, which
you mean actual content?
We do have actual content. We also might not get to all of the articles I wanted to go through because Screen Rant has done it again. But later on.
You have fought long enough, Galadriel.
You have fought long. Hold on. No. Stop. I got distracted. Dang it. No.
Hey guys, I hope.
Dang it. I got so angry. I'm sorry. I got so angry to skip through this. I'm sorry. Give me a second to find my place again.
I think we were right around like the 40-minute mark, maybe.
Yeah, we were like right.
Yeah, right there. I think.
No, we're that.
Yep, right there.
There.
Perfect.
I'm sorry.
Got so angry you just skipped everything.
You fought long. You fought what? Put down your sword. What?
Now,
what?
If this wasn't made by Amazon, I would say, and if it wasn't said by Elrond, I would say that is a correct statement. Because Galadriel did fight in her own way. But because it's made by Amazon, you know that she was swinging a sword around on a battlefield, hitting no one, just getting tired.
Basically.
And Elrond was there gawking, hiding behind a rock.
Basically, we've got warrior Galadriel. I'm gonna say that from now on. Gleedriel. Um, sorry, guys. Sorry, that pisses me off. Like I saw this. This is actually. So this is the second time I've seen this trailer, and I reacted the same way. I threw my mouse across the room. My cat was very scared.
I got nothing else to say.
Salty, where's the action figures? I know. Check your donos. All right, let me refresh the stream. That shouldn't be. Thank you for $5. This is for the Bath the Harfoot crowdfund campaign. Bathe the Harfoot fund even the Harfeet deserve to be clean. Why is Amazon stereotyping the Harfeet or Harfeetsies as dirty people? I know. We need to start a GoFundMe. Justice for the Harfeetsies. Justice for the Harfeetsies.
At
They
least
need baths.
wash their Harfeetsies.
Sorry. But this whole this Elrond is supposed to be the one out there fighting Elrond. So yeah, sorry. Okay. Woosah.
It's just so bad. Let's keep going.
Put up your sword.
Wait, stop. So that wasn't Elrond then. Look at the jaw. Like the jawline wasn't the same on that character when she stabs it into the ground.
Oh, so that was one of her companions, I think. That must be a companion.
And that is gotta be their interpretation of the Halcaraxi.
Yes.
So that is probably either before or after she uses a dagger to climb up a
There's the dagger.
mountain of
See,
ice.
she's holding the dagger. It's right there. It's the dagger.
And I bet you that this scene right here is like, we've only got so much food. We need to do something. Galadriel, please save me. Climb this
Basically.
mountain of ice. Okay, I'm done. Continue.
Hashtag flipper feet matter.
Flipper feet matter.
In a hole in the ground there lived a hardfoot.
A nasty tyranny.
What?
Oh, that's disgusting.
Hashtag Harfeet lives matter, man.
Oh.
Elrond's not fighting, just Galadriel. Yep. Look how ridiculous those swords. I know, right? Hold on. Let me show you. I have Witcher replica swords. These are ginormous. Like they're almost as tall as like they're about a little over half my size.
Right.
Right?
I need to.
Yes.
I need to find out who plays Galadriel.
Because like those are the six-fingered sword. No, I mean the six-hand sword. Are you the six-handed swordman? But this is a dagger. I have daggers. You would not use this to climb. Like, no, you have no leverage. Sorry, YouTube. This is just a prop. It's not a real dagger, YouTube. It's just a prop. I'm just doing it for prop purposes.
It says that Morfydd Clark is 5'3". It says that she's 5'3".
She's wearing platform boots. Those are picks for olives in a martini. The handle length is stupid. Yes.
Can someone please check this out for me and
Morfydd Clark is Galadriel. Yeah. Oh man. So I could play Galadriel, guys. They just need to put me in a wig. Be a little bit shorter than her, but anyway, let's keep going with the six-handed sword.
Your camera's messing up. You froze there for a second. You're back now, but you're kind of fuzzy.
Oh, sorry.
You just gave us a good meme face. That's what you gave us.
I'm fine with memes. You can meme me. She is standing on a snowdrift in the video. Yeah, you can see that. She's standing on like a little.
But I'm still like she's 5'3". She's petite, yes. But let's go to Cate Blanchett. I don't think Cate Blanchett is that short. Cate Blanchett is 5'8".
Those swords are impractical, at least dangerous for the user at best. Yes.
Look
Freaking
how
absolutely.
long that hilt to that sword is.
That's a 6-handed sword. Let us continue,
Yep.
because we got to get through
Put
this.
up your sword.
Galadriel looks at him like, who the F you talking to? Sorry.
The enemy is still out there.
And she still had a dagger on her hip, by the way.
Yes, she still had the dagger. She must really like that dagger.
And now we're walking through some weird.
Yeah, there are in fact swords with long handles like that. Those types of swords were not the type that the Noldor would have used. Correct. Those are ceremonial swords.
Yes.
Swords that big are not meant to be like used. They are meant to be ceremonial swords that you place on a plaque or used for ceremony. Like if you're going to like knight someone or you crowning the king, you use ceremonial swords like that.
Most
but
of the
yes.
time, when you have a sword for combat, it is you have a sword that just fits one hand. You have a sword that is a hand and a half hilt, and then you have a sword that is two-handed.
Like the Witcher swords. The Witcher swords are meant to be two-handed.
Yep.
But Geralt's strong enough he can wield it one-handed because he's the boss.
He's the boss
Anywho,
man.
This
Let's
is
go.
I think that's where they meet that troll that we saw in some of the teaser trailers. I think that's the face
Which
poking out.
doesn't look like a troll at all, but and where would this even take place?
Somewhere in the ice.
Yeah.
It is over.
You have not seen what I've seen.
I have seen my
Not
share.
to see what I have seen.
You
Okay, pause that. I could see them having that argument, but also it would be more respectful.
Yes.
And then what is this hellhole that they have been thrust into?
I bet you it's Mordor.
Why would they be going to Mordor?
Do they have the rights to Morgoth's realm?
I don't think they do. No, I think that it's just mentioned, like the
Okay.
name. The name would just be mentioned.
Okay, then
Is
it's
that
probably
enough?
I mean, if it is mentioned, they can say that they are in that place.
What I need to do is I need to go and get a PDF and just Control F and see what specific words are mentioned
Mm-hmm.
of the in the appendices. That's what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have that for
great.
next week.
Great swords were used in combat. They were, however, used like pole arms. Italians, the Japanese, and I think the English would have treaties
Yes,
on them.
bastard
Not going to
swords.
side. Yes,
I
yes.
just wasn't going to say bastard sword on Mando's channel, but there you go.
I mean, when we read some other literature, they're going to say bastard.
Hey,
It's something that literature says. So yeah. This is a flashback to the War of Wrath. You can see the outlines of dragons in the sky. Yeah. So it's them battling in Morgoth's realm.
I don't like it at all.
I don't either. Which she looking a little crusty there. I think she needs to
So-
moisturize.
How many flashbacks are we gonna have? I don't. So many questions, so little time. Let's keep moving.
Thank you, Salty. I don't like to say the word if I don't have to, but in its context, I will say it.
Well, it's just Mama Susan, man. It's Mama Susan might think, oh, why are you saying that word? Like I have to watch
Right.
my stuff on Twitch too.
Yes. But I think in its proper literary context, I think it's fine. If not, YouTube will send me a message saying naughty, and I'll have to do something to edit the video or whatever. Okay, continue with Galadriel, who needs to moisturize. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I think this is Morgoth's realm.
Where has Morgoth's realm ever been described as an ethereal plane with floating bodies, like they're floating through red water?
They have creative rights and liberty. That's what people will say.
That looked more like suspended animation. Sorry.
I think it was like where Morgoth probably exploded something, and the bodies are exploding back, and they just freeze framed it there.
Yeah,
I think that maybe more what happened. I don't like. You look wrong. Okay, anyway. It's a Matrix-like show. Matrix-like slow motion with vision. Yeah. Yep. this September. That
I do like the ship design.
the ship design, yes, I will admit, the ship design is pretty cool. Excuse me, whoever you are, king person, you need to get the moss out of your hair. We don't want you looking like those Harfeetsies.
Yes. Hashtag no Harfeetsies.
Hashtag no
Darkness will
Harfeetsies.
march over the face of the earth.
Ugh.
It will be the end, not just of our.
The birdies. Look, so me watching anime and having that in my brain, it was a Studio Ghibli film. It was Spirited Away. Spirited Away had those little paper birds. That's what this reminds me of. That looks weird. It looks like a paper bird from like Studio Ghibli film or Ghibli, whichever you pronunciate it. I don't care. They are floating due to being hit with a dragon fire blast. Okay. Yeah. That's probably what it is.
Well, there was no
likely.
flailing arms. There was nothing like that, and it looked like suspended animation to me. So I think that was just a like still frame wide shot
I
that they're
think so.
trying to use as emphasis.
Why does she
Um,
look like an Oompa Loompa?
She does, and that's the sad part because it's just really, really sad. They coulda-
For you
Hmm?
memers out there, put Galadriel, put this not actual Galadriel, but put this Galadriel's face on an Oompa Loompa and meme it out there. Oompa
There
Loompa
you go.
Galadriel. So you have ideas, but continue. Sorry.
It's just really depressing because I bet you that Morphed Clark is a really nice lady, and she is just going to. There's going to be some people in the Tolkien fandom that are going to be toxic, and we don't want that. We are not attacking the actors or actresses or anyone that is just trying to make a living. We don't want to attack them. We want to attack the product that they have given us. And most of the time, actors and actresses have a bad performance because of the way the production is cut. And so they're not going to put Morphed Clark in a good light. And that is going to affect her career because as we know, everything that goes woke goes broke.
Salty's working on it.
There we go, Salty.
Yes, the memeing. Somebody needs to tag Gary. All right, continue on with the Studio Ghibli paper crane. Like literally, that looks like a Studio Ghibli. Anyway,
Now,
If
as
you
far
don't
as
know what that is.
I know, birds in Tolkien's Legendarium were the same birds as here.
Yes,
Those don't look like our type of birds. But
that
what
does
do
not
I
look
know?
like a dove. That does not look like a dove. Anyway, let's continue.
Our people. But all
The crazy eyes. Sorry.
peoples.
I am sorry, but their time has come.
And then woof, dwarves. Dwarves doing the dwarf thing. They are breaking rocks.
That has to be when the dwarves were getting corrupted by Sauron to start gathering the materials to make the rings.
Well, I didn't think did the dwarves have anything to do with the Rings of Power? I thought it was just Celebrimbor.
Well, yeah, it was just Celebrimbor, but I bet you they're going to do something like that
Yeah, he's
because
that's prob-
they're going to have so many different people that they're
Mhm,
going to have to tie it in together.
mhm. Yeah, she might call us racist and sexist. Yup. It's okay. So because in one of the teaser trailers, I think the most recent teaser trailer, Celebrimbor is telling Elvis Elrond to go to the dwarves for help. So yeah, he's probably asking them to gather the materials so he can forge the Rings of Power. Cool. Or harpa, harlefa. I can't even harp to hump. Jeez, I can't.
Hardoomtity I've got a dirty puzzle for you. Harumpa, halumpa, hardoompadee doo. If you want to stay clean, you won't listen to me. That doesn't even rhyme, fam.
Hey, I like it.
But it
Good
is
job.
good.
It
It's
is.
better
It's
than what
very good.
Amazon's gonna do.
Yes.
The
Ice.
past is with us
Oh,
all.
that was
Man.
his buddy. That was her buddy.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
And now we have horse riders.
They're trying to recreate the ride of Rohan, and it's not gonna work. I refuse.
That's where your mouse is at? That's Galadriel.
Yeah.
That's Galadriel at the head of the charge, and I guarantee you, the black-haired dude in the back, that's the guy that she shipwrecked with.
Probably.
And I bet you those are Numenorians. That's gonna be the Numenorian armor.
Yeah, it's got to be the Numenorians. Words are hard. They are. They are. They are. That's okay. That's okay. They already call us that. Yes, they already call us ists and
Racist,
phobes anyway.
sexist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Every ist and phobe.
The
yup.
past is dead.
Hold on. No. I want to go back to that horse armor, that horse effing plastic looking armor. Hold on.
Yes, there's a good shot right in there in the frame.
That looks plastic.
Go
That
off,
looks like
Mando.
plastic.
Go off. Keep going. Nope.
Look, so I'm not a huge Shadowversity is the person that I go to when I talk about like any kind of armor. So like whatever I say is wrong, of course, correct me. One, they have horns. What is that? What? They have horns over their eyes in front of their ears. There's no protection for their actual ears. Two, they have a horn on the nose. Like, no, like the nose needs to be protected. Like the eye holes are way too big. They should have some visors protected. And look at that. Look, it's jumping off of the horse. How is the horse able to see? It can't see with that junk. Like, what is that? That looks like it was 3D printed using wax. That looks what? Like what? The arm, like that's not horse armor. That's they're going out play fighting. Even Renaissance Festival. Like I went to a Renaissance Festival this few months ago. The armor that the horses were wearing looks 100 times better than this, and they do it for fun. Like what? Sorry. Need to breathe. I should sip on my coffee.
It looks like particle board meets plastic meets other cosplay material. It looks completely fake. There is not an ounce of metal in that. I guarantee it by the way the shadows and the sun hits it, the lighting, that it just looks completely and utterly fake.
Jacob Ironside says horses never wore stuff like that on their faces in combat. Nope. Definitely not actual horse armor. And my friend Smile a while for me. She's a horse person. Like she helped. Like she knows her thing about horses. Probably very uncomfortable. What is up, Ryan? A Force Legacy. Check DMs. He did it. I will show it. I will show it in just a moment, Salty. Besides obstructing their vision, goodness, did they even look at the actual horse armor? The fuck? The F is this? This is horse armor in the Rings of Prime.
This is horse armor for the Rings of Power. The Amazon production we call Rings of Prime or Rings of Pride. And it is disgusting. Look how open the neck is. It's got a little bit of armor protecting the nape of the neck, but the jugular vein, all of the veins, all the arteries in the neck. That's just one arrow shot away.
Yes, the neck scales aren't done right either. There are so many YouTube videos on the history of horse armor. Abso-freaking-lutely. You were saying what's up? Let me do a thing real fast. I'm gonna go to Twitter real fast because I've got to show this. This is amazing.
Yes,
it's glorious.
And I'll just continue going on horse armor. Why does the design look so stupid? Is everyone in chat seeing like the long like fluke, like the fluke like armor design? It's just the design. Oh, here it is. Oh my gosh, Salty.
Fabulous. Goal. You deserve. Hold on. Let me find this. Will it work? It's not going to work.
It didn't do anything.
There we go.
There it is. Delayed.
Yes.
Just a round of applause.
Yes.
That is beautiful.
Okay, now I'm going to pull this back and see what Thad sent me. But yeah, that Well done, sir. Well done.
of actual barding. That's what it's called. Well, normal people just call it horse armor.
Oh, so Thad sent me a thing with actual horse armor. Da, 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 da. Wow. That is what horse armor is supposed to look like. Where did I go? Oh, crap. Okay, there we go. Yes. Like there were 3 tabs open at the same time. I'm like, ah!
Now,
Sorry.
if you do zoom in, you will see decoration, but I
Yes.
don't believe that the helmet, let's just call it the horse helmet,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that it would have all of that on it. Because I
Correct.
have also looked up, let me look it up again. If you just search horse armor, like I just did, you will also find horse armor that is legitimate
Mm-hmm.
and accurate, and it does not have the extra pointy bits.
And which is fine. It's just that like look and
those are curved. Those are curved as well. And look at the second horse. Look at the second horse. How short that is. Each piece of armor for every single knight and every single horse, every single piece of equipment that had to be armored was specifically armored to fit.
yes. All right. Also, Salty did another one. Hold on.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh
once again,
no.
let's see. Yes.
That's beautiful.
Oh man, that's glorious.
I hope she's getting paid enough by Amazon. That's all I have
really
to say.
do too. I hope so as well. But yes, Salty, you deserve a round of applause. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Yes. Okay, so that's him yes, bravo. If I'm not mistaken, that is tournament armor for horses. Yes. Yeah, medieval horse armor covers 90% of the horse. I don't know much about horses, but I've seen some medieval shows, and that's something similar.
And most of the time, what covers the body is just chainmail. It will be chainmail that goes down farther. It's not like they put plate armor on a horse. That would slow it down way too much. Plus, having about 300 pounds of knight on the back, that would be way too much for the horse. The horse has to be light enough to maneuver around on the battlefield and to retreat if needed. But it also needs to be well armored enough to survive said battle.
Yes. Smile a while for me. I've already seen so many memes in my equine groups mocking this clip for the horse armor. Also, they're not the best riders. Aw, man, I bet not. The head protection in a horse is called a chafron. Also, horses wore armor for such a brief... Yeah, it was a very brief period of time that horses wore armor, but let us continue on, because I really want to get through this, and we won't get to the articles. We'll have to go straight to the books, the book that we're supposed to be reading. But
we'll have to do the articles another time.
Yes,
because those were good articles.
Yes.
Past is dead. We either move forward
The heck is
or
this?
we die with it.
Who are you? Who are you? Who are those people? We haven't even seen hardly any of them in the trailers. Like, besides now.
Those people don't matter. Those people they're gonna die within the first episode, and that's Nick Rekieta. That's his cameo.
Where do you think the billion went when I 3D printed armor and costumes for our grandma's curtains? It all goes to my girl Galadriel. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, Jane armor protects the knight and horses from slashes and stabs, is resistant but can still penetrate. Yes, absolutely. It's supposed to protect the horse from swords, stabs, slashes, and arrows. So, anyway.
That is why pikes were so effective against horses, because they would pierce through the chainmail.
Yes.
The beginning of a new era.
Okay, so we know for sure that's Sauron. Like somebody, there were people who guesstimated that the Meteor Man was actually Gandalf, but nope, they just said it there. He was Sauron. So my rumor was correct.
Why you have to pause on that frame? Look at that nasty ass foot.
That was just luck.
That we're going to be talking about that foot again. That's a nasty ass foot. Look how disgusting that foot is.
That looks fake. That's not how feet. That's not how
Look at
feet
that bump where the
go.
ankle is, like the heel. Look where the bump of like.
The Harfeetsies. Go find me for the like justice for the Harfeetsies, man. Okay. And they did that on purpose. They did that on purpose. Okay, I'm done. Ugh, we're done with that. Ugh.
Oh my gosh!
I'm
Thank
so
you.
sorry.
It's over.
My eyes! But yeah, they literally did that on purpose. They zoomed into their disgusting feet and then zoomed out. What is this? What is this? Okay. That's a Jacob Ironside. That's a hard foot.
Mm-hmm.
Yup. Inserts a force ew emote. Yup. Ew. That's all the dirt. Yeah, bro. Like, no, man. No.
And yes, it is described. Hobbit feet are very thick. They don't have to wear shoes. They're very hairy. That is just the description that makes hobbits set apart from other little folk. And they're throwing all of that out. Like they're taking all of like the descriptions and they're making it extremely nasty. And they're taking all of the hygiene that Tolkien talked about and throwing it out the window.
Basically. Oh man, like, geez Louise, like, how can anyone, like, I don't even know anything about cinematography, and I'm like, why would you zoom in on a nasty, ugly, disgusting, dirty foot? Like, zoom in on his hand holding the staff, or zoom in on his face first as they're walking, not their.
I don't understand it.
Well, Iru's smiting of me and Jay's part is pouring rain now. Good luck. If I mean, I don't have an arc. Well, I mean, I technically do have an arc, but that's different. Noah's Ark. Like, I don't know if you're gonna see Noah's Ark floating by. Sorry. Oh no, my Kindle on my phone has crashed. Dang it.
You're kidding me.
So give brief description of the chapter, please, and what book we're reading, what chapter we're on, and your thoughts.
Okay, so we are reading the Book of Lost Tales by J.R.R. Tolkien. It is a part of the Histories of Middle-earth compiled by Christopher Tolkien. We are reading the first chapter. It is called The Cottage of Lost Play. It is a very short chapter. It is mainly like it's very similar to an essay or a very small novella. It takes place in Arda in Ea, and it's a very strange chapter because this feels more like old style of writing to me. It's definitely not modern. It takes place in like I said in Middle Earth, but we don't know who the main character is. We don't know who the Wanderer is. All we know is his name is, and Thad, you're gonna have to help me on this. I have no idea how to say it. I'm really bad with names, especially Elvish names. And it's like Ariel. So that's what I yeah, it says that I'm reading it now. On my book, they're in parentheses. It says, the Annals of Beleriand, fragments of which are extant also in the Old English translations made by Elfwine, Aorio. So, Elfwine is Ariel, or like it's not Ariel, but Ariel. I'm gonna say that. That's probably wrong, and the Tolkien purists are probably going to try to crucify me, but come at me. That's all I got to say. That is the original name for the character named Elfwine. So I'm just going to say Elfwine because that's a lot easier. Um, it takes place on an island that Elfwine goes to, and he's just exploring it. And he just walks around the island every single day, and he rests at any type of hut, village, hamlet that he can find, and he just speaks to the people. Well, he comes across a very, very nice cottage. And he's like, "This is so quaint. This is so lovely. Let me see who lives here." Well, he knocks on the door, and I'm such a bad host. I forget the dude's name. It's the master of the house and the master's wife. Um, it is they welcome him in, and they find out that there are many individuals living in this house, a lot of kids and a lot of they call them, well, I'm just going to use the word adult, but they call them older folk or something like that. And what they do is they the children have their playtime, and then the children, with three strikes of the bell, they go and they go for story time. And so this entire house is built around fellowship, breaking of bread, and telling of stories. So they welcome Elfwine in, and he starts telling them about his adventures, and then he starts asking them questions about the island. And that's pretty much the entirety of this very short essay.
Yes.
It was nice to read, but my word, it's this, like, if he would have added this to the Silmarillion, this probably would have been the worst part of the Silmarillion.
Hi, Rosie. Okay, so I got it up on my web browser instead of my app for some reason. My phone app is.
I did not like this chapter at all. It was definitely not a good start to the book, in my opinion. But I don't like reading Shakespeare. I don't like
Okay.
reading I don't like reading the finer arts of writing.
Okay. Okay.
Like, I think the most, like, fancy I'll get is I'll read A Tale of Two Cities. Like, I
Oh,
read
okay.
that and I liked that, but it's just, I've got to take those in really small doses, and I kind of overdosed with this tiny chapter.
Okay. My understanding is, because I've had to read, this is definitely an academic scholarly essay. That's the
Yes.
vibe I was getting.
It is said that he wrote it sometime in the winter of 1916 to 1917.
17. So while he was in the like, I think that was before World War One, while he was at
No,
Oxford. No?
that would be after World War One,
I
because
thought,
he
oh
got discharged.
yes.
He got
Yes.
discharged from the
Okay.
Battle of the Somme.
Yes. Let's see. Okay, but really, how many people are gonna hate watch this out of curiosity or for content? I couldn't ever even get through Kenobi, and I've given up on the entertainment industry for now. I will choke through this series for you guys.
Yep, me too.
I will do it. I'll do it.
And then if I don't think that I can bring good content to my audiences and to you guys, help to Mando's audience, I will cancel if I don't think season 2 is going to bring good content to you guys, I'm canceling Amazon Prime. Like that, I'm stating that now. But if I do think that season 2 will continue, I can go ahead and shuck over $140 for another year of Amazon Prime just to see this. I really can't, like, watch the season then cancel Amazon, because that would be
Right.
a waste of an investment.
Mm-hmm.
But I am going to choke through this too. It's like eating an elephant. You got to do it one piece at a time.
Yup. One bite at a time. That is the original name for the character name Elfwine. Yep. Ariel the mermaid. Yes, crucify him. The island is the basis for what becomes Tol Erese or
Yes,
Er-
Erisea.
Erisea. Thank you. Beer bag. Okay, thank y'all. Ariel Elfin is descendant of Arendelle.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
yes.
definitely who they
It
said
it
multiple times.
literally says son of Urindil, and so
Yes.
because it's like they're not saying that it's an direct descendant, as in the son of him, but they're
Mm-hmm.
using son as in the descendant of Urindil
Yes. And the
or
two people are
Aerindil.
Lindo and Viari. Viari.
Yes, that's the husband and wife that
Mm-hmm.
are the owners of said cottage.
And one of the interesting things I thought, whenever I was reading kind of the commentary that Christopher did, was the original name of the Noldor was supposed to be gnomes. Like they were supposed to be um, like Noldor comes from where he called them gnomes at first, and then over time he switched it to Noldor. I thought that was really cool and interesting. Because so when he's talking about gnomes here, he's talking about elves in actuality.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because there aren't gnomes in his
Because
Legendarium.
we have to remember that this was written in 1916 or 1917. The Hobbit wasn't even a twinkle in his eye at the time, neither was The Lord of the Rings. He was still forming his mythos, he was still forming his legendarium. That is really the only thing that I enjoy about the letters that and the extra notes that Christopher put into place.
Mm-hmm.
Because it gives us a timeline of events.
Yes,
um, Using that timeline, we can have a greater understanding of what Tolkien wanted and what he did not want.
correct. And it gives a really good context for like how he came up with things, because like he came up with the language first. Like he's already like using like the notes in here talks about like this is in the Quenya or whatever language. I always forget the name, like and so like he had his language already there. He was just trying to create, this is one of his earlier attempts to create the story for the language. Let me see.
That is correct. He had not begun to tie everything together with the Norse, Germanic,
Mm-hmm.
Finnish. Yes, you are correct. Because
Uh,
he was constantly upgrading and updating the way he wanted his universe to function.
mm-hmm. Amazon Prime, if you take advantage of all the stuff that comes with it, is dollar for dollar one of the best things you could have. Rings of Prime is like all those other C&D grade movies Amazon adds in. Yup.
Yes, yes.
Oh yeah, we've been talking about those weird, very distant cousins of yours, the Hardfoots, the Hard feces. Tolkien had not really begun to tie his concept into North. Yep, when he wrote this. Fun fact: if you read the original Baron Luthien, Baron was a gnome, also. Yeah. I
Yes,
actually
it
have not read
was.
the original.
I haven't
Ariel
read it
is.
either. I read a manuscript of it that I stole from the interwebs because I know. I
Stealing
would
things.
I would fly the black flag and sail the Red Seas.
So like what I do in my free time is I sail the high seas. I gotta tell you a story about that. I was playing yesterday and I gotta tell you a story about that.
Sea of
Ariel
Thieves.
is either Quenya or Sindarian name for the character. Yeah, I think in the notes it specifically said Quenya. Um that's
Well,
exactly what I
I'm
think.
gonna call him Elfwine because that
And
is
do that.
easier for me to say.
I was also starting to kind of get him confused with Tar Arendil or something, like the one that was constantly sailing around places, and I was like, no, that's not him. Correct, right? Yeah.
I mean, it could have been him. We're not told otherwise because this dude, Elfwine, was a wanderer and a
Mm-hmm.
descendant of Arendelle,
Mm-hmm.
and so was the king.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I would
Hmm.
like to point out that Tolkien died before the Silmarillion was created or any of the other
Mm-hmm.
Legendarium was created. So he could have changed his mind if he had devoted his time in the 1960s to, instead of like editing and republishing and fixing the problems that the publishers caused to The Lord of the Rings, if he had devoted all of that time to the Silmarillion, he could have completely changed what we think of the Silmarillion today.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to throw that out there. You have to keep everything in context.
Gnomes were actually invented in the late Middle Ages by Paracelsus. Hey, I did it right. That is true. Yeah, I think. And in the notes, Christopher kind of goes into a little bit of where Tolkien's, like, of course, what we already know where Tolkien's heart was is his mourning of the loss of fairy stories for England, like English fairy stories, and that, like, his love letter to the English people is the Lord of the Rings, because the English people had no original fairy, like, mythology and fairy stories, because they got taken over by the brain. They were taken over. They were the Danes. I think it was the Danes.
The
I remember
Danes?
correctly. I think it
Okay.
was the Danes, because there was that. I'm sure you probably didn't know all this, so correct me if I'm wrong. But there was one time in particular that the Brits were taken, or were sacked, and all of their mythology was taken over and stuff. And basically, Tolkien was very sad that England didn't have its own mythos. And in the story, it talks about the island, and sometimes it can be like the similarities of the island in this story. It's supposed to, quote unquote, represent England. Like, it's the where he's at is, he knows he's on an island, and he's walking around, and it's and he makes the comparison to England.
Mhm.
Tolkien was working intently on the stuff that Christopher and Guy Gavriel K compiled into the Silmarillion near the end of his life. Yeah, and like, dude, I feel for Christopher, because, like, sometimes when when he talks about it, he's like, yeah, I found this on a scrap piece of paper with my dad's handwriting talking about elves. Here you go.
On what stuff, though? Because
Um,
every piece of evidence that I have found is he is fixing the mistakes that the publishers made.
this
That
is
is what everyone says. That is what Christopher says.
No, specifically Christopher talks about, I think, in the when we were going through the unfinished tales, he says that this paragraph was written on the back of a term paper that Tolkien was grading.
Yep.
So, like,
He was working on the Silmarillion since like 1913. He had the idea for it. And so from 1913 to 1973, when he died, the Silmarillion was always in the back of his mind. So you could say that he's always been working on it, but he just, like, come on. Like, if I were to write a note for a great idea on a napkin in crayon, and then my brother finds it, and then he also finds my other notes, and he just slaps that right in the middle as a paragraph, like, sure, that'll work. But also, it's like, I didn't write that work. It's a Frankenstein image of my work.
I mean, but it's still nice to like see where Tolkien's brain was while he was, like, doing certain things, though.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that statement. But I still have my statement.
Right.
So,
Tolkien was working intently on stuff that Christopher. Oh, I already read that. Sorry. Yeah, Anglo-Saxon native culture, religion, and lore was lost. It was Germanic in origin. Okay, the Anglo-Saxon culture got supplanted by the Celtic native culture and was finished off by the Norman culture. Okay, so it was the Normans, not the Danes. My apologies. My Danish friend will probably message me and say, "How dare you!"
as they should. 20 lashings.
20 lashings. It a little more complex than that, of course, because there was an entire English set of folklore that arose in the Middle Ages as well. Tolkien was targeted the Old English and prior connection. Yes, he was trying to go back before the Middle Ages.
As far back as he could.
Yes, that as far back as the record, the recorded evidence that he could find for that time,
at
which
that
was
time, which we have made so much progress since then.
yes. Hmm.
We take that for granted. We have made so much progress in archaeology and writings that we found that that Tolkien never knew about.
Right, right,
So
yes. Which is that's fantastic. And the Danes have Norse Germanic culture and ancestry. Yes, so technically the Danes did.
so do the Anglo-Saxons. The Anglo-Saxons were a Germanic people.
Right. So basically all like what one of my history teachers always said is World War 1 and 2 really was just how like wars even back before the Middle Ages. It was just a bunch of people like sibling rivalry. All the peoples of Europe come from similar ancestry.
Yep.
Yes, I'm making a generality, but if you look back far enough, it starts to you start to see
The
it's kind of
entirety of
true.
World War One could have been solved with a gigantic family reunion. And if they had just said, like, yeah, we're gonna back off and we're not gonna kill our own citizens, because they were all descendants of Queen Victoria. All of the major
Basically.
players were.
Hmm. Yeah, like all of all any king or queen in England, France, Germany, or it wasn't Germany at that time. I always forget the original
Prussia.
name. Prussia, yes. Uh, all of them were related, and they were just fighting amongst each other. That's really all of most of European history is about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure if European lore was here, he would probably agree. But he might say some extra stuff on top of that because he knows his stuff, and his channel's European lore, so yeah. But that's my tidbit of knowing just what I know about European lore is just it was just siblings fighting, and unfortunately, some citizens got in the way. Oopsie. But yeah, so moving on from that, so one of the things I do want to end with, we're not ending now, but just to let you know, Ark, there's one poem at the end of the notes that I do want to read because it's really cool, and I never read poetry hardly anymore, and Tolkien and C.S. Lewis were both poets, don't you know it? Sorry, that was bad. So I figured that might be good to just read read when we get there. So kind of more or less adding on to the summary that you gave beforehand. The I guess when I was reading this, I kind of got that image of when the hobbits were going into the inn to meet Strider, and like they're just kind of having fun, and it's that nice warm fire where everyone's just kind of having fun and goofing
Mm-hmm.
off. Like that's kind of the image that I got from when the description of the rooms, which also kind of a Doctor Who reference. It's bigger on the inside because one of the things that the elf the Aoral talks about is, oh, it looks like a little quaint cottage, and then you go
Mm-hmm.
inside and you're like, oh god, what is this?
It is a
um
gigantic mansion on the inside.
it is. So Harry Potter, not Harry Potter, Doctor Who reference there for those
Mm-hmm.
of you who care. The Proto-Germanic and Old Norse were an oral culture like the Celts, and earlier records of their culture was by the Christians who were converting them between the 9th and 13th centuries, and some Muslims. Yes. The Catholic Church, the monasteries, thankfully, even though I don't agree with all of the methods that they use, but they thankfully recorded things and wrote things down.
Okay, in a way, you can relate this to what the monasteries did to the Proto-Germanic and Old Norse people. Is the same thing that the Romans did to the Etruscans
Yes.
and the Gallic people
Mhm.
back then.
And to the Greeks, because when they took over, they just kind of took Greek culture and
Yes.
slapped new names on it.
Well, what I mean was the way they wrote about them.
Oh, okay.
Like our version of the Proto-Germanic people, where they are pagan worshippers, they are barbaric people,
Mhm.
and to the Romans and let's take the Romans for example. The Etruscans and the Gaelic people, I mean not Gaelic, but the Gallic people above them and the other Celts, they are considered crazy barbarians, and that's really where the word barbarian comes from, and barbaric and things like that. They were It was Roman propaganda that we read about the Etruscans. It is Catholic monastery propaganda that we read about the Proto-Germanics.
Yeah.
It's legitimately propaganda. Not saying it's good or bad, but that is
Right.
what it is. That is their version. We don't have the Proto-Germanic writings because they were mainly in, like what Thad said, they were mainly in oral culture.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have their version of the story. We have what the Catholics viewed them as,
Mm-hmm.
which were pagans. And to be a pagan back then was an immediate death sentence, and also you would be shunned out of existence.
Yes.
So
And I'm not gonna go off of that rebel trail. Never mind. Sorry. There was the thought I had, and I was just like, no, rein it in. No more, no more rabbit trails for Mando. It's been over 20 years since I read the stuff in History of Middle Earth and other than the Numenor stuff, which I had to look up for reference for a versus debate. Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, like I'd spend years since I've read some of that stuff as well. But Mando, you are right. J.K. Rowling also used that concept in Harry Potter for the tense. Yes, she did. So I was correct in both Harry Potter and Doctor Who. Huh. I wonder where both of those people got that idea from. Maybe they read the story. I don't know. What is up, Phil? I am not defending negative aspects of history, but if it wasn't for the Catholic Church, very few European books would have survived to the Dark Ages. People were literally burning old books for heat. Yes, that is true. Like on one hand, the Catholic monasteries were converting the people and trying to add a Christian spin to the Germanic or Proto-Germanic stories, but they were actually recording some of the history. We wouldn't have any of it if it wasn't for them. Granted, it's with a Christian slant, on it, but at least we have it written down, like history is messy. Oopsie.
and
People
now
are
it's
messy.
our job to use like modern style of archaeology and also the old texts that describe it, and now we have to unwind this bird's nest and actually
Mhm.
find what is actually true, what actually happened back then, what is the propaganda and what isn't. So,
Yes.
but we're straying from the Lord of the Rings. Let's get back to that.
Which I mean, it's fine because like we have to understand where Tolkien was getting his material from is from like this history that we're talking about. Like this is some of the context that Tolkien was looking at for his fairy stories. He was looking back, like what do we have? What is the Catholic slant? Like he was considering all of these things while writing his Legendarium, and so that's something definitely that needs to be put into consideration when we are discussing Tolkien's work.
Very
Um,
eloquently put.
Thank you. That's what happens when coffee kicks in. Let's see. So yeah, more or less, it's kind of just them discussing back and forth. Aorl and his hosts, Lindo and Veari, and just kind of, I found it intriguing.
Yes. It was very intriguing, but it was very different
It is this style of writing compared to the Lord of the Rings is very academic, and so
compared to the Silmarillion.
compared to the Silmarillion, yes, is yeah, both of those are very academic, but I would even say this, like, as like I can see him writing this and turning it into a professor for it to be graded like essay academic.
Yes.
Um
Yes, absolutely.
so for those of you who maybe like our said earlier, like who aren't into a lot of the older like Beowulf and some of the like more academic Shakespeare-y writing, that's a lot of what this chapter was, but of course very eloquently written down by Tolkien. He described, like, you feel like you are in the room that that Tolkien's describing in this story. You like the sounds, the sights, the smells. Like I felt like as a reader, I was sitting next to them, like while they were, discussing their histories. Also, I think I was confused where, like, because it talks about the children like being there in the room, but also kind of it felt like the children were kind of these ethereal beings. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was very. I was a little confused. I was like, "Are the children there?"
The image that I had in my head when I read it was something very akin to like what you would see in like maybe a horror film nowadays, where everyone's sitting around a gigantic long table
Mm-hmm.
and everyone has a gigantic smile plastered on their face. And so, like, I know that that is incorrect. I realize this, but that was the first image I had pop in my head, and it gave like an overtone to the entire story. Like the people there weren't actually there, and it was just the master of the house and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And it made it more interesting for me when I read it again, because I didn't have that the second time. I just saw a happy gathering of people. But the
Mm-hmm.
first time I read it, that's what I had, and then the second time, that's why it's always important to read a story twice.
Yes.
But it was just interesting to see my brain jump from those two perspectives.
Yes. I love the description when they're getting ready, when they're walking kind of, I guess, down the corridor or hallway, and he kind of looks over and he notices a red glow. And so that when they walk in, there's big huge fireplaces on either side of the table, and it's just a roaring fire. When he asks about it, they're like, "Oh, those are magical fires."
Yep, yep. It was pure magic. It was magic that we haven't seen in Middle
Hmm.
Earth before. And yeah,
I
it's
got a very Beowulf vibe when like
yes.
very Beowulf
Hmm.
vibe of from this story. I imagine he probably had just read Beowulf when he got inspired and started writing this down. I can see that happening.
And you also have to remember when he wrote this, he would have been in his very early 20s.
Yeah, so he probably was reading a lot
His
of those
his
things.
his imagination would have been going all over the place. He would have just gotten, basically, I think he would have gotten home from World War One, like, well, just
Hmm.
fresh from getting home, and so he would have had the horrors of war in his brain. He would have had the love that he had for his wife, or his soon-to-be wife, um, and he would have had all of those different emotions and different feelings, different memories going on as he was writing this. And so all of that plays a major role in the creation of this small essay.
Yes. Thad says my primary motivation for reading is emotional. I have a core emotional connection to his work. I literally slept with the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings with my stuffed animals in bed as a child. Hey, I didn't quite actually. I think I did sleep with one of my Chronicles of Narnia books. I think it was the Silver Chair that I used to. I really no, it wasn't the Silver Chair. It was the Horse and His Boy that I really liked. I love reading anything he wrote because of that. Absolutely. Tolkien wrote his Beowulf translation in 1913 or 1914. That makes sense. He was working on that. Okay, yeah. Yeah, because definitely just the very like how he describes the fire kindling and the camaraderie is very similar. Whenever my recollection of reading Beowulf, when Beowulf is in the mead hall, which we are in a mead hall right now, technically in the background,
Mm-hmm.
getting together, sharing stories, hurrah, like drinks being passed around, like yeah, that's the feeling. So I could definitely see where Beowulf was playing a much bigger role in his imagination at this point in time in his
And
life.
and I also think well, for me, I don't think it was Tolkien's drive and purpose to change any type of culture. He wasn't trying to I don't think he, like, let's take Eric July for a second. He is trying
Mhm.
to change culture. He is trying to create. He is
Mhm.
trying to inspire. Um Tolkien does say he wants to give a story to children, and he wants to create an interesting story, and he also, in a roundabout way, he wanted to create a mythos for
Mhm.
England, yes, but I don't think he was trying to like say he was top dog. I think he was very humble about it. Not saying Eric July
Yes.
is not humble. Eric July is a very humble man, but back then, um, having pride, like overzealous pride in yourself, was frowned upon. It was
Yes.
most likely beaten out of you as a child. Um, so I my point of this rambling statement is, I think that he just wanted to have his adaptation of the older folklore, older folk tales, a combination of mythoses that all intertwine into one that he created and he designed. And he
Mhm.
did that over the course of
His
6
whole life.
decades.
His whole life.
Yeah, yeah.
This is like when those of us in the like who like Tolkien, like when we say this is his love letter to England, like there's no person on earth would spend their entire life writing a mythos if they did not love like if he didn't love fairy stories, if he didn't already have that love and desire and he wanted to give this uh like this story to the people, like cuz
Well, like we always say it's a love letter to England,
mhm.
and yet Tolkien never said that.
That is
He
true.
never
It's
said that, and I state this because he does use Germanic culture. He uses
mhm.
Finnish culture. He uses Celtic culture. He uses all the different Northern European cultures, intertwining them together. Different folk tales. You can spot different folk tales. You can spot the legend of Atlantis with
Mhm.
Numenor. You can
Yes.
spot so many different ancient tales that he just put his Tolkien twist on.
Mhm.
So I understand what people are saying when they
Mhm.
say that it's a love letter to England, but I agree to that only about 45%. The
Okay.
the rest of it, I say no, it's his love of storytelling, it's his
Mhm.
love of creating, it's his love of wanting to share a happy, fun story that have morals and that have a meaning with younger generations like his children. He made The Hobbit specifically for his kids, and he thought other children should see this. So he went and he had it published. And that was my point. That was the point of all of my ramblings. If you people haven't figured out yet, I ramble on about anything.
Sorry. So it looks like we might actually have to cut this short because I'm being messaged by my IRL people who are like, "Hey, you're supposed to be here." I was like, "I told you guys I was gonna be late." Um,
Oh no, we were just getting started. We got another 3 hours to go.
Ugh. um, let me see. So I will get to that poem, and we can end it on that
Yes.
note. And if you will remind me next week, we can go over those articles.
I have them saved right now.
Perfect. I forgot how long this was. Oopsie. Oh, okay. There we go. Nope. Stop clicking button. There we go. So the you and me and the Cottage of Lost Play. Gosh, come on.
Oh, that's not
Anyway.
too bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you and me and the Cottage of Lost Play. There's actually two versions. I'm gonna read the earlier version because I actually like the earlier version better than the second one, in my
Mhm.
personal opinion. So you and me, we know that land and often have been there. And in the long old days, old nursery days, a dark child and a fair. Was it down the paths of firelight dreams in winter cold and white? Or in the blue spun twilight hours of little early tucked up beds in drowsy summer night, that you and I got lost in sleep and met each other there, your dark hair on your white nightgown, and mine was tangled fair. We wandered shyly hand in hand, or roll it in the fairy sand. Sorry, there are certain English terms that I am not familiar with. My apologies. And gathered pearls and shells and pails. While all about the nightingales, we were singing in the trees. We dug for silver with our spades by little inland sparkling seas, then ran ashore through sleepy glades and down a warm and winding lane. We never found again between the high whispering trees. The air was neither night or day, but faintly dark with softest light. When first there glimmered into sight the cottage of lost play. 'Twas builded very, very old, white and thatched with straws of gold, and pierced with peeping lattices that looked towards the sea. And our own children's garden plots were there, our own forgement tones. Sorry, red daisies, crease and mustard, and blue nymphadile. Gosh, I can't these words. Oi, all the borders trimmed with box were full of favorite flowers of flocks of larkspur, pinks, and hollyhocks. Beneath the red may tree, and all the paths were full of shapes, of tumbling, happy, white-clad shapes. And with them you and me, and some had silver watering cans, and watered all their gowns, or sprayed each other with some laid plans to build them houses, fairy towns, or dwelling in the trees. And some were clambering on the roof, some croning lovely and aloof, and some were dancing fairy rings and weaving pearly daisy strings, or chasing golden bees. But here and there a little pair with rosy cheeks and tangled hair debated quaint old childish things, and we were one of these. We were subsequently rewritten. Oh my gosh. But why it was there came a time when we could take the road no more. Though long we looked and high we climb, or gaze from many a seaward shore, to find the path between the sea and the sky to those old gardens of delight. And how it goes now in that land, if there is house and garden stand, still filled with children clad in white, we know not, you and I. And why it was tomorrow came, and with his gray hand led us back, and why we never found the same old cottage or the magic track that leads between a silver sea and those old shores and gardens fair, where all things are that ever were, we know not, you and me. That's it.
That's a really nice poem.
Yeah.
He was a great poet. He was a fantastic poet.
He and Lewis used to write poetry all the time.
So Thad says, for Arkasule, regarding J.R.R. Tolkien working on the Silmarillion at the end of his life, in the foreword, Christopher says, throughout his life, he never abandoned nor ceased even in his last year to work on it. That is what I've been saying the entire time. Are you not paying attention, Thad? You're wanting to talk about European history when I've already stated that like 30 minutes ago, that I understand he was working on that throughout his entire life. He put the Silmarillion to the wayside. Number one, because it was just his universe. It was not meant for anyone else except for him and his loved ones, mainly him and his wife, and then his children later on. It was a family project. First, it was a Tolkien project, then it was a family project, and then he was like, yeah, I can go ahead and share this with the rest of the world. That is what Tolkien wanted for the Silmarillion. Then you got World War I happens, and then you got his love life happens with his wife, and then you got family life, and then you have his job working at Oxford. He was a professor for decades, and then he finally stopped being a professor to release the Lord of the Rings. I think that the Lord of the Rings was more important to Tolkien than the Silmarillion, and not a lot of people want to think that. Why did he focus on the Lord of the Rings so much more and get it published than the Silmarillion? And then he had to fight the publishers and fix their mistakes. He had to fight them. He had to constantly look at the revisions, and then he had to revise their mistakes and get it published correctly for Britain, for the United States market, for any other foreign country's market that it would have been translated into. They even messed up the first edition that was mainly only released in Britain, and they most of the mistakes came from America, if I'm not mistaken. The company that wanted to release it in America really butchered his works. So he spent most of the late 50s and 60s fixing the publisher's mistakes, and that consumed most of his time. And then it was finally when he's like, okay, I think I fixed everything. I think everything's fine. I can go ahead and do little revisions here and there. I can make another addition here and there. Then he starts picking up the Silmarillion again, and he's talking with Christopher, and he's talking with his other editors, and he's like, yes, I this is going to be my magnum opus. This is going to be the piece de resistance, and this is going to be what it's all about. But guess what? His wife dies, and then he dies a year later of heartbreak. Can't win them all. That is my entire point, Thad, and I wish you would pay attention instead of writing your chats like, oh, this is what Ark is trying to do. This is what Ark is trying to say. No, if you would listen to what I'm trying to say, this is what I'm trying to say. And now I have an entire spiel that Mando has graciously allowed me to say without interrupting. And now I'm done. This is everything. Go back, pick this apart, make a YouTube video about it. You have my blessing. I might even take this VOD and I might clip it and put it on my own channel. Now I'm probably going to refine it as well, make a follow-up. But this is what I'm talking about. You have people that want to put words in Tolkien's mouth. And yes, I just put words in Tolkien's mouth saying that the Lord of the Rings was more important than the Silmarillion. But my evidence for that is, why did he spend 14 years working on the Lord of the Rings in between? Because you had The Hobbit. 14 years later, the Lord of the Rings is published. Why was that 14-year gap spent working on the Lord of the Rings and not publishing the Silmarillion? That's my question. We won't know because he's dead, and guess who else is dead? Christopher Tolkien, and guess who else is dead? All of Christopher's siblings. So we're never going to know. Are we going to find it out from one of his grandchildren? The same grandchildren that have sold the soul of Tolkien's Legendarium to Amazon? There, my rant is over. Please point out a specific instance of me saying you said anything. I am engaging in an intellectual discussion over a differing opinion on events and circumstances. For Arkasule, regarding J.R.R. Tolkien's working on the Silmarillion at the end of his life, in the foreword, Christopher says, throughout his life, he never abandoned nor ceased even in his last year to work on it. Bro, that's literally, you just said it right there in you trying to pull the foreword that Christopher wrote. That I literally said that like 30 minutes ago. I have no idea why you wanted to. You said for Arkasule, for me specifically. You're calling me out, and then you don't have any rebuttal. You're just saying what I've already said. So I've typed it in chat, and I've spoken about it.
So, and it's good to have differing opinions and different debates.
Oh,
but,
absolutely.
Let's try and like not derail the stream. Just saying.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It was still a good poem, and I still think that Tolkien is one of the best poets to have ever lived. In my opinion, far superior to Shakespeare.
Let me take a look. Ooh, that's a hot take. Jacob.
Bobin says, when I die, I'll go and ask Tolkien and then text you. Please do, Bobin. Let me know.
Yes. Let me see. I do actually have I'm having to bounce. But we will continue this next Saturday, 10:30 p.m. or 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. The discussion will continue. Thank you guys so much for the donations. For you, Ark, for am I looking at right? Yes, for you, Ark, for joining me on this endeavor. We will be discussing more, and we will have some articles ready. Hopefully, we will talk more about the articles instead of bashing on the trailer. I
can't wait to get to those articles. Those articles were amazing.
Yes, Screen Rant did not fail me. I believe, you two should should message each other, should DM each other
Oh,
on
it's going
Twitter?
to be a fantastic conversation. I love it. I love it. This is a brand new opinion that I formulated in my head, and that's what it is. It is an opinion that I hold, and it's brand new because of Amazon. Because of what Amazon is doing, I formed this opinion. And if someone can go ahead and have a stronger argument than what I think I have, my opinion can change. I am a very open-minded person, and I think Thad is too. Thad has always had like great points that he adds in chat. It's always great to see Thad in chat. It's always great to see Bobin and Jacob, and I love seeing Rosie in chats now. It's just what we have here is an open conversation, and it's very difficult. And I would love to actually speak with Thad, whether it's in like a private call or if it's on a live stream. And I am the exact same way in private as I am in public. Mando can testify to this. Guess who else can? A Troubled Green can testify to this. There are so many people who have spoken to me. I am the exact same person, all warts and all, scales and all, like everything. I am not putting a mask on, even though my logo has a mask.
So I am so sorry I'm having to end this right now. I'm getting phone call after phone call of people trying to get a hold of me. I will probably ask Thad to be a guest on Literary Souls eventually. We will talk about that later. I'm so sorry I'm ending so abruptly. You guys are amazing, awesome. See us next week. And
Bye, guys.
bye.